Animation and cinematic effects are a big part of our lives. We see it in movies, TV shows, and even commercials. But what exactly is animation? Animation is the art of displaying a series of frames or pictures creating the illusion of movement. A lot of this is simply known as cartoons. Cinematic effects, or special effects, refer to the visual/sound effects that is added to a film to create an illusion of phenomena beyond the range of what is normal. This is also known as movie magic. A recent find in Iran reveals the oldest animation ever discovered, a ball that, if given a spin, shows a goat leaping up to get leaves off a tree. Researchers have dated this artifact to be over 5,000 years old. Moving into the present, we see all types of modern technology used to create animation and cinematic effects. It obviously didn't just fall out of the sky. It had to start somewhere. This moves us into our first segment, early cinema technology. The first pivotal animation devices did not emerge until the 19th century. Scientists and inventors gradually developed their creations to enhance the perception of visual movement. One such person was William G. Horner, a British mathematician as well as an optical theorist. Horner invented the zoetrope, which when translated into Greek literally means life turning. This sums up the whole concept of the device. As shown, the cylinder spins in a rapid motion, successfully giving off the appearance of non-stop movement. The idea is similar to what most people refer to as a flipbook. Okay, moving on then. In 1879, Edward J. Muybridge, an English photographer, invented the zoopraxiscope. The objective of the device was similar to that of the zoetrope. However, the zoopraxiscope projected images from a disc. Many believe it to be the world's first movie projector. Here, we have an image of a galloping horse. First in sequential order, next in rapid succession to show movement. Inspired by Muybridge's creation, Thomas Edison, yes, that guy who invented the light bulb, along with his assistant William Dixon, created the kinetoscope. The kinetoscope was designed to show silent movies to an individual looking through a peephole. In the interior of the mechanism, there were spools that rotated strips of film continuously, which allowed for a smoother viewing experience. This technique would be the basis for all cinematic projection. Here's a clip of the butterfly dance featuring Annabelle Moore. Last but not least are the Lumiere brothers, Auguste and Louis, who wowed their audience in 1895 with their demonstration of the cinematograph. The cinematograph was a multifunctioning device. It could capture images, print them on film, and project. Unlike the kinetoscope, the cinematograph was portable and could be taken virtually anywhere. Here, we have a segment of the Lumiere brothers' first film. All of these early cinematic devices helped to spark the imagination of legendary animators. They would use this technology to bring their creations to life. Next, we'll discuss the rise of animation, or as I like to call it, the age of exploration. You like what I did there? Yeah, I know, lame. Anyway. When we think about early animation, we typically think about this guy, Walt Disney. But the truth of the matter is that Disney was not the first animator in history. Dun, dun, dun! Okay, yeah, that was a little dramatic. But seriously, he wasn't. A fellow by the name J. Stuart Blackton is considered the father of animation. He met Thomas Edison and the two instantly hit it off. On one occasion, Edison created a film of Blackton doing a lightning portrait of him, which was soon shown to paying audiences via Vitascope, an early film projector. Blackton was greatly influenced and founded Vitagraph Studios. In 1900, he made the film The Enchanted Drawing. The film uses stop-action animation, which when the camera is stopped, a change is made. Then it continues rolling. Next up is Georges Méliès, who is a French illusionist and filmmaker. He's often referred to as the first cinemagician, due to him being the first to use time-lapse photography, multiple exposures, dissolves, and hand-painted color in his work. Much of this can be seen in his film A Trip to the Moon. Now I'll provide some sound effects. Shh, boom! no, my beautiful face. Oh well. Another early animator was Emile Cole. He, like Méliès, was also born in Paris, France. In 1908, Cole made the film Phantasmagorie. This is considered the first fully animated film in history. A lot of the film's features was borrowed from Blackton, which included the use of the chalk line effect, when black lines on white paper are reversed negatively to make the opposite, giving off the white chalk blackboard vibe, and also the feature of having the main character drawn to life on camera. This earned him the title, the father of the animated cartoon. Next on our list of early animation pioneers is American cartoonist Winsor McCay. McCay started out doing editorial cartoons and comic strips, such as Little Sammy Sneeze and Dream of the Rarebit Fiend. However, his most successful strip was Little Nemo, not to be confused with Finding Nemo. Soon, his character Little Nemo came to life and made its way into theaters in 1911. Not long after that, McCay created Gertie the Dinosaur, which debuted in 1914. This film is thought to be the first to utilize keyframes, which McCay used alongside his in-betweening technique called the McCay split system. This was the process of drawing major poses / positions first, then filling it in with intervening frames to create fluid motion. Last but definitely not least, we have the man whose name is just as iconic as his creations, Walt Disney. In his early career, Disney was hired by a producer named Charles Mintz to produce the cartoon series Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. It received good reviews and became an instant success. However, a clash between Disney and Mintz over compensation left Disney all on his own. This ignited a flame within Disney, and he became determined to create a character that would replace Oswald. His name was Mickey Mouse. Created in the late 1920s, Walt Disney himself provided the voice of Mickey up until 1947. Disney entered its golden age by releasing the feature-length film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It was the first animated movie in Technicolor, and it used the multiplane camera technique, which was first utilized by Disney in 1937, and the Silly Symphony short The Old Mill. Many after Disney began experimenting, creating, and developing animation. The world of animation was changing and evolving. It was even being shared in other parts of the globe. This takes us to our next section, groundbreaking achievements and exchange. Although he wasn't an animator, Ivan Sutherland created a revolutionary graphics program in 1963. He was impressed with the game Space War, featured on the TX-2, a computer that by today's modern standards is considered archaic. He began to design and construct a program that would allow graphic user interface, and thus Sketchpad was born. Before this time, no one had ever created drawings directly on a computer. I guess we could say Sutherland was the father of computer graphics. Next, we have Michael Crichton, who made his mark in the film industry in 1973. Although Crichton graduated from Harvard University with an MD degree, he was more interested in writing novels. Soon, his passion led him to writing and directing his own film called Westworld. What makes Westworld so remarkable was that it was the first film to ever use digital image processing. This scene shows the android's point of view on several occasions, which is pixelated to convey the idea that he's a robot. Can you guess what popular CGI film came next? If you guessed Toy Story, you are absolutely right. The film is widely recognized as being the first movie to be fully animated in CGI. In case you didn't know, CGI means computer-generated imagery. Walt Disney Pictures partnered up with Pixar to produce this movie in 1995. Have you ever seen clay animation? Clay animation creates movies using stop motion. A notable stop-motion movie is Coraline, which was released in 2009. According to Laika, an animation company that specializes in stop-motion films, Coraline was the first stop-motion feature to be conceived and photographed in stereoscopic 3D. Pretty cool, right? A filmmaker, inventor, and deep-sea explorer, James Cameron is a force to be reckoned with. Already at the top of his game in visual effects, Cameron took it a step further in his 2009 film, Avatar. A ton of visual effect techniques and computer animation went into the creation of Avatar. It utilized the motion capture stage, bigger than anyone ever used before. A performance capture device was worn by each actor to make sure 100% of their physical performance was seen on their digital counterparts. Cameron also developed much of his own tech for the movie. But the USA is not the only place using animation. Japan, for instance, has created many cartoon shows or animes. Anime has a big influence in American culture, such as the art style behind the Boondocks, and the hosting of anime cons, a famous one being Comic-Con, held in San Diego, California every year. Today, there's more animated shows than ever before. Some are for kids, some are for adults, some are even for both. Thousands of animated movies have been created, yet many more wait to be seen. Technology is constantly updating and evolving as animation gets more intricate and detailed. Let each movie captivate you as you think of the brilliant minds and all the work behind it. And always remember, none of this just fell out of the sky. It all had to start somewhere.